My beloved child, listen closely, there is a reason your heart feels heavy right now. Somewhere, someone you love is sitting in silence, unable to explain what is happening to them. It started quietly, almost invisible, like a shadow moving behind the wall. No alarms. No noise. Just a slow tightening of a situation nobody noticed in time. And tonight, the truth begins to surface. Something huge is waiting for you. Amin 111. Not everyone who smiles wants freedom for your family. One decision, one misplaced trust, and suddenly control shifted into the wrong hands. The person involved didn't arrive as a villain, they arrived as help. That is how the trap works. Step by step, comfort turned into dependence, and dependence quietly turned into restriction. No chains you can see, yet movement became limited. Amin. Here is what makes this moment terrifyingly important. The issue is not pain, it is permission. Someone crossed a line they were never allowed to cross. They decided where your family member could stand, how long they could remain still, and when they were allowed to move forward. It was disguised as care, but it was control wearing a gentle mask. Amin 222. Your spirit felt this before your mind understood it. That sudden urge to check on them, that restlessness you couldn't explain, this is not coincidence. Information has been hidden from you on purpose. Conversations were redirected. Details were softened. Because if you knew earlier, everything would have changed. And that is exactly what they feared. Amin 333. Listen carefully now, what is being done cannot remain hidden. The moment someone interferes with another person's ability to move freely, destiny begins to push back. Signs are already appearing, small disruptions, unexpected delays, nervous reactions from the one responsible. These are cracks. And cracks mean collapse is coming. Amin 444. You are not watching this by accident. Awareness is the first release. The situation feels urgent because timing matters. If ignored, the control deepens. If confronted with wisdom, it breaks instantly. And the shocking part? The one responsible never believed you would notice this early. They underestimated your connection. Hold this message close. Stay alert. Observe everything without reacting yet. Because the next step does not belong to fear, it belongs to revelation. When the truth comes out, it will not just free your family member, it will expose intentions that were carefully hidden. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Amen. Blessing. Amin 555. The silence around this situation is louder than screams, and that is how you know it is real. What's happening has been calculated, not rushed. Every pause, every delay in telling you the truth was intentional. Someone believed that if time passed, you would stop asking questions. They were wrong. Awareness has already entered the room. The one who caused this never expected resistance from destiny itself. What they thought was permanent control is already weakening. Small mistakes are being made, words spoken too quickly, explanations that don't align, sudden defensiveness. These are not random errors. These are signs of fear beginning to surface. Amin 666. Your family member has been stronger than anyone realizes. Even while restricted, their inner will refuse to surrender. That strength is now sending signals outward, calling for intervention. When a soul refuses to break, the universe rearranges events to protect it. This is already in motion. Amin. What shocks people later is not what was done, but who allowed it to happen. The face behind the action will not match the image you trusted. That revelation alone will change how you see past conversations, past favors, past advice. Suddenly, everything will make sense. 777. Do not rush to confront yet. Timing is protection. Right now, observation is power. The more calmly you watch, the more clearly the truth reveals itself. Panic feeds the trap. Patience breaks it. This is wisdom, not delay. Amin. Very soon, a moment will arrive when the situation exposes itself without effort. A question will be asked. A detail will slip. A witness will speak. And when that happens, the control ends instantly. No force needed, only truth. Amin 888. Stay grounded. Stay alert. What was meant to weaken your family will instead strengthen your bond. Justice is not approaching loudly, but it is approaching surely. The next part carries a turning point. Amen. Blessing. Amin. There is a shift happening now, subtle but unstoppable. What was hidden is becoming heavy to carry, and the one responsible is feeling it. Control always collapses when it is forced, because fear cannot hold power forever. You may sense unease in their voice, or hesitation where confidence once lived. That is the pressure of truth rising. Amin 999. Your family member has begun to see through the illusion. What once felt like help now feels like confinement, and that realization is dangerous for the one who built the trap. Awareness changes posture, changes breath, changes energy. And energy, once changed, cannot be controlled again. Amin. This is the moment when silence becomes strategy. Words are no longer needed from your side. The more composed you remain, the more exposed the situation becomes. The trap was designed for panic, not clarity. Calm is already undoing what fear created. Amin 101. Behind closed doors, plans are being reconsidered. The one who thought they were in charge is now calculating exits. They are watching reactions closely, trying to measure how much you know. This is proof that the balance has shifted in your favor. Amin. What feels painful now will later be recognized as protection. Had this continued unseen, the damage would have gone far deeper. Intervention at this stage is mercy, not delay. Every moment from here forward is guided, not random. Amin 111. Very soon, someone unexpected will speak or act in a way that accelerates everything. It may seem small, but it will trigger a chain reaction. When that happens, resistance will vanish, and excuses will crumble. Amin 130. Hold steady. The story is no longer being written by the one who trapped, it is being rewritten by truth. The next part carries consequences they never prepared for. Amen. Blessing. Amin. The moment you have been sensing is closer than it appears. Pressure has reached a level where truth can no longer stay buried. The one responsible is now reacting instead of controlling, and that is the clearest sign of collapse. When control slips, reality steps in. This is happening now. Amin. 222. Your family member's situation is about to change, not through force, but through exposure. Something carefully hidden will surface, an action, a message, a witness, or a detail that was never meant to be seen. Once revealed, everything shifts instantly. There is no recovery from that moment. Amin. Understand this deeply. The legs were never the true target. Freedom was. Movement was. Choice was. And the moment someone interferes with another soul's ability to move forward, consequences are written immediately. Destiny does not negotiate with control. Amin. 333. You may soon feel a surge of emotion, anger, relief, disbelief, all at once. Let it pass without reaction. Power belongs to the calm observer now. The truth does not need shouting, it only needs light. And once light enters, darkness disappears on its own. Amin. The most shocking part will be the aftermath. The one who trapped will look smaller, weaker, exposed. Authority they pretended to have will vanish. Words they once used confidently will suddenly fail them. This reversal is not accidental, it is justice. Amin. 444. Your role in this chapter is protection, not confrontation. Stand firm, speak less, and trust what is unfolding. The release of your family member is already aligned. What is breaking now is not them, it is the grip that never should have existed. Amin. Receive this as confirmation. What was meant to harm will end in freedom. What was meant to control will end in truth. And what was hidden will never return to darkness again. Amen. Blessing. Amin. 555. What comes next will feel unreal, because release often arrives quietly after chaos. The grip that once felt unbreakable will loosen without warning, and those involved will pretend it was always meant to end this way. Do not be confused by that softness, it is retreat, not kindness. Amin. Your family member will soon feel a shift in their body and spirit. Not because everything is fixed instantly, but because control has ended. When freedom returns, even partially, the soul responds first. Strength begins to rise before movement fully follows. This is how healing announces itself. Amin. 666. You may hear new explanations, rewritten stories, or sudden apologies. Understand this clearly, these are not truths, they are defenses. The real truth already revealed itself through actions, not words. What matters now is protection, not persuasion. Amin. A boundary will be drawn that cannot be crossed again. Whether spoken or unspoken, it will be felt. The one who trapped will know they no longer have access. This loss of access is the real consequence. Control does not survive distance and awareness. Amin. 777. This experience will permanently change how you trust, how you observe, and how you protect your people. That change is not bitterness, it is wisdom earned. What nearly broke your family has instead sharpened your instincts. Amin. From this point forward, recovery replaces fear. Support replaces silence. And strength replaces confusion. The chapter that began with restraint now moves toward restoration. Nothing that was exposed will be allowed to repeat itself. Amin 888. Hold gratitude in your heart, not for the pain, but for the timing of its end. What was stopped now could have gone much further. Protection arrived exactly when it was needed. Amen. Blessing. Amin. Now comes the quiet phase, the one most people misunderstand. After control ends, there is a moment where everything feels still, almost empty. Do not mistake this for weakness. This silence is recovery taking its first breath. What was tense for so long is finally allowed to rest. Amin 999. Your family member may not speak much at first. That is normal. When freedom returns, the mind needs time to trust it. Healing does not rush, it rebuilds carefully. Every small movement, every regained choice, is a victory no one can take away again. Amin. The one who caused this will fade from relevance. Their power existed only in secrecy, and secrecy is gone. You may notice they avoid eye contact, distance themselves, or act overly normal. This is not confidence, it is exposure. Amin 101. From this moment forward, your role shifts from protector to restorer. Presence matters more than questions. Safety matters more than explanations. What heals most is knowing the danger has passed and will not return. Amin. This experience will quietly strengthen your family bond. Shared survival creates a depth no comfort ever could. You will recognize each other differently now, with respect, patience, and unspoken understanding. Amin 111. There is no need to revisit the pain to prove it happened. The proof lives in growth, in awareness, in boundaries that now stand firm. What mattered has already been secured. Amin. Receive peace now. The chapter that began with restriction ends in stability. What was threatened is protected. What was shaken is grounded again. Amen. Blessing. Amin 222. This is where strength settles in, not loud, not dramatic, but unmovable. What your family endured has rewritten the rules of how close you stand to each other now. Fear no longer leads. Awareness does. And awareness cannot be trapped again. Amin. Your family member will begin reclaiming confidence in small, powerful ways. A decision made without asking. A step taken without hesitation. These moments may seem ordinary to others, but they are victories written in silence. Freedom always returns gently before it returns fully. Amin 333. You may notice your own instincts have sharpened. You sense intentions faster now. You read pauses, tones, and inconsistencies without effort. This is not suspicion, it is discernment born from experience. Nothing slips past you the way it once did. Amin. The past will try to echo, but it will no longer have power. Memories may surface, yet they arrive without control attached to them. That is how you know healing has crossed a threshold. Pain remembered without fear is pain released. Amin 444. What once felt like a threat has become a lesson sealed with protection. The universe does not waste suffering, it converts it into armor. And that armor now surrounds your family quietly, constantly. Amin. From here on, life does not return to what it was. It becomes stronger, wiser, and more intentional. Trust is rebuilt with clarity. Love is expressed with presence. Safety is no longer assumed, it is ensured. Amin 555. Stand still for a moment and receive this truth. What tried to break your family failed. What tried to control was exposed. And what remained is unshakable. Amen. Blessing. Amin. Now the weight fully lifts, and you realize how much you were carrying without knowing it. Relief arrives quietly, but it stays. The fear that once hovered in the background no longer controls your thoughts. That is how you know this chapter is truly closing. Amin 666. Your family members' presence begins to change. Their posture, their energy, even their silence feels different. This is the body learning that it is safe again. Healing shows itself first in confidence, long before words catch up. Amin. What happened will no longer define them. Survival does not become an identity here, it becomes a foundation. From this foundation, growth rises stronger than before. Nothing about them is weakened, everything has been refined. Amin 777. You may notice that the world around you responds differently now. Opportunities feel clearer. Decisions feel lighter. This is what happens when a hidden burden is removed. Life flows again when obstruction is gone. Amin. The one who caused harm has no chapter left in your story. Their role ended the moment truth entered. No explanation from them can rewrite what has already been revealed. Closure does not require conversation, it requires distance. Amin 888. Gratitude begins to replace vigilance. Not gratitude for pain, but for protection, timing, and escape. What could have escalated was stopped. What could have broken did not. That realization brings peace that cannot be shaken. Amin. Receive this final confirmation. Your family is guarded, restored, and stronger than before. Nothing that happened will repeat. The path ahead is clear, steady, and safe. Amen. Blessing. Amin 999. This is the moment of completion, where everything finally makes sense. Looking back, you will see how every delay, every strange feeling, every unanswered question was guiding you toward protection. Nothing was random. Everything aligned to stop what should never have continued. Amin. Your family now stands on different ground. Not fragile ground, but firm. What once threatened stability has been removed, and the space it occupied has been replaced with awareness and strength. This is not survival mode anymore, this is grounded living. Amin 101. The experience leaves behind a quiet authority. You no longer need to prove, explain, or justify anything. You know what happened. They know what happened. And that knowledge is enough. Truth, once seen, never needs repetition. Amin. From this point forward, protection becomes natural. Boundaries hold without effort. Instincts respond without fear. Love flows without suspicion. This is what restoration looks like when it is complete. Amin 111. Your family member's future is no longer defined by restriction but by choice. Movement returns not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Every step ahead belongs fully to them now. Amin 111. What once felt like a nightmare has ended without leaving chains behind. The lesson remains, but the pain does not. This is how freedom should feel, light, calm, unquestioned. Amin. Carry this closure with peace. The chapter is sealed, the danger is gone, and the family stands protected. What began in darkness ends in strength and clarity. Amen. Blessing. Amin 222. This is where peace becomes permanent, not temporary. You wake up one day and realize you are no longer waiting for something bad to happen. Your mind is quieter. Your heart is steadier. That constant alertness has faded, and in its place stands confidence. Amin. Your family member is no longer defined by what they went through, but by what they overcame. Strength has settled into them naturally, without effort. They no longer look behind when they move forward. That is the final sign that control has truly ended. Amin. 222. The memory of what happened now feels distant, like a story that belongs to another lifetime. It no longer has the power to shake emotions or trigger fear. This is not forgetting, it is mastery over the past. Amin. You will notice how decisions come easier now. Trust feels clearer. Discernment feels sharp but calm. Nothing forces your hand anymore. Life begins to respond to you instead of testing you. Amin 333. The chapter that once carried tension now carries wisdom. You are not guarded, you are prepared. Prepared without fear. Prepared without suspicion. Prepared with clarity. Amin. What was meant to trap ended up teaching you how to protect without panic. That lesson will serve you for a lifetime, quietly, faithfully. Amin 444. Receive this ending with gratitude and certainty. The storm is over. The ground is firm. The future is safe. Amen. Blessing. Amin. Now comes the legacy of this experience, the part that stays with you long after everything feels normal again. Not as fear, but as wisdom that quietly guides every choice. You move differently now, with intention instead of reaction. Amin. Your family has learned the power of presence. Listening without rushing. Protecting without controlling. Standing together without needing words. These lessons were hard-earned, but they will last forever. Amin 555. The one who caused harm has disappeared from your emotional world completely. Not because you forced it, but because relevance vanished. When truth removes fear, there is no space left for influence. Amin. You may notice that others around you seek your guidance more now. They sense strength, clarity, and calm. What you survived has shaped you into someone who sees clearly and acts wisely. Amin. Your family members' confidence will continue to grow in ways that surprise even you. Independence returns fully. Joy returns honestly. Movement becomes effortless again, inside and out. Amin 666. Nothing from this chapter needs to be revisited to be healed. Closure has already happened. Protection has already settled. The story no longer asks for attention, it is complete. Amin. Carry this truth forward: what tried to break your family became the reason your bond is unbreakable. This is strength that cannot be taken away. Amen. Blessing. Amin. This is where gratitude turns inward. Not gratitude for what happened, but for what was prevented. You begin to understand how close the danger came, and how precisely it was stopped. Protection does not always arrive loudly, sometimes it arrives just in time. Amin 777. Your family now carries a quiet confidence that cannot be shaken. You trust yourselves. You trust your instincts. And that trust is stronger than any external threat ever could be. Amin. What once required constant attention now requires none. Peace has become automatic. The mind no longer scans for danger, because safety has settled into routine. This is freedom at its deepest level. Amin. Your family member no longer feels watched, measured, or limited. They move as themselves again, fully, naturally, without hesitation. That return is the real victory. Amin. Nothing about this journey was wasted. Every moment sharpened awareness, strengthened bonds, and clarified priorities. What truly matters now stands clearly in front of you. Amin. From here on, life expands instead of tightens. Choices open instead of close. The future feels welcoming instead of uncertain. This is how you know healing is complete. Amin 888. Hold this final truth close: your family was tested, but never abandoned. What protected you then will continue to guard you ahead. Amen. Blessing. Amin. This is the chapter where calm becomes your default state. You no longer measure peace by the absence of danger, but by the presence of stability. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels forced. Life flows without resistance. Amin. Your family's strength is now quiet and unquestioned. There is no need to prove resilience to anyone. What you carry inside is enough, and it shows in the way you stand, speak, and decide. Amin. The memory of control has faded into clarity. You remember it without emotion, without tension. That is how you know it no longer has power. Awareness has replaced fear completely. Amin 111. Your family member moves forward with certainty now. No hesitation. No second guessing. Their steps belong fully to them, and that ownership cannot be taken again. Amin. The bond within your family feels sealed, not fragile. Trust rests naturally. Support is unspoken but constant. This unity was forged, not gifted, and that is why it lasts. Amin. Nothing from the past calls for your attention anymore. The lesson has been learned, the danger has passed, and peace has settled permanently. Amin 222. Accept this moment with gratitude and confidence. What once threatened your family is gone, and what remains is strength that endures. Amen. Blessing. Amin. This is where certainty replaces reflection. You no longer look back to understand, you look forward to live. The chapter that once demanded all your focus now rests quietly behind you, sealed and resolved. Amin. Your family has stepped into a new rhythm, one shaped by awareness and trust. Decisions are made with clarity. Boundaries hold without effort. Nothing feels unstable anymore. Amin 333. The experience no longer defines your identity, it refines it. You carry strength without hardness, caution without fear, and confidence without arrogance. That balance is rare and powerful. Amin. Your family member stands fully in their freedom now. Movement, choice, and expression belong to them again, naturally and permanently. Nothing shadows their steps. Amin 444. Peace has become normal. Safety has become expected. Love flows without obstruction. This is not luck, it is the result of protection recognized and honored. Amin. What once tried to control your family has dissolved into irrelevance. There is no echo, no residue, no return. The door is closed completely. Amin. Receive this final confirmation with a steady heart, your family is free, guarded, and whole. The journey ends here, in strength, clarity, and peace. Amen. Blessing. Amin 555.